The shape in the corner stopped moving. The basement air thickened like the walls themselves were leaning closer to listen. I stood frozen, knife trembling in my hand, the faint beam of my phone flashlight shaking wildly across the concrete. The figure smiled, but its mouth didn't move like a smile should. It cracked upward, skin splitting just slightly at the corners, as if it hadn't done this before. Whispering, stretched, distorted. Why are you hiding from yourselves? My pulse slammed against my throat. No, no, I whispered. The figure unfolded from its crouch, bones cracking softly, each sound echoing too long in the dark. It straightened, same height as me, same build. My flashlight caught his face, and my breath stopped. It was me. Same jawline, same hair, same clothes, except its eyes were hollow, black sockets filled with nothing. Its mouth stayed open, a perfect imitation wearing my skin, whispering, "You left me here." I stumbled backward. My heel hit the edge of the old brick wall. No, this isn't real. The thing tilted its head, exactly the way I'd done upstairs earlier, mocking me, learning me. Soft whisper closer, "You shouldn't have come back." I didn't know what it meant. I didn't want to. The house groaned again, louder than before, like something beneath it was waking up. Then it moved. 1 second, it was across the room. The next, it was right in front of me. I swung the knife. It passed straight through like mist, but the cold that followed, it burned. I collapsed against the wall, my breath jagged and loud. The figure leaned close, inches from my face. No sound, no breathing, just a whisper that felt like it crawled inside my ear. Whispering, "It's me." I scrambled to my feet and bolted toward the basement stairs, but the door at the top was gone. There was only wall. No. I slammed my fists against the concrete. The house was shifting. The sound of footsteps echoed again. Not one set this time. Dozens, all around me. My flashlight flickered. Figures appeared in the dark corners. Not one, not two. An entire crowd of them, all wearing my face. Their whispers tangled together like vines. "It's me. You shouldn't have come back. He's inside. We were here first." I screamed and charged into the darkness, not away from them, just somewhere they weren't. The basement stretched into hallways that didn't exist before. Ceilings lowered, floors dipped, like the house was swallowing me alive. A dim red light glowed at the end of the corridor. I ran toward it. The hallway was lined with old wallpaper peeling like rotting skin. The floorboards creaked, wet, as if soaked with something thick beneath the wood. The light came from a room I didn't recognize. A door stood slightly open. Something breathed behind it. I pushed the door. It groaned, long, low, like something on the other side was pushing back. The room beyond was small, circular, walls covered in mirrors, cracked, smeared, reflecting fractured pieces of me. In the center, a single wooden chair and someone sitting on it. Me. But this one wasn't like the others. This one blinked. I froze. He smiled faintly, not like a monster, like he knew me, like we'd been waiting for this. "Do you remember?" he whispered. His voice was soft, mine but lower, older. "You left the house, but the house didn't leave you." My knees locked. I couldn't move. "What are you?" I whispered. His smile widened. "I'm what stayed behind." Every mirror in the room started to vibrate. Cracks grew like spider webs across the glass. I whispered again, "Why me?" "Because," he leaned forward, face inches from mine, "you let me in." The floor beneath the chair split open. Black water seeped upward, rising fast, licking the edges of my shoes. The figure on the chair didn't move. The mirrors around us began to melt like heat was bending the world. I stepped backward, but there was no door anymore. Only mirrors. And my reflection, hundreds of them, smiling without me. I turned, slamming my fists against the glass. The reflections didn't match me anymore. They waved, smiled, stepped closer, whispering in chorus, "You are already here." The black water reached my knees. The chair sank slowly, and the other me didn't resist. He just kept smiling as he whispered over and over, "He's inside. He's inside. He's inside." Then he vanished beneath the surface. I forced my hands against the mirror. This time it gave way, like pushing through wet skin. On the other side was a hallway, but not the house I knew. This one was rotting. Walls pulsed softly, like breathing flesh. Pipes ran like veins through the ceiling. And at the very end, the front door. My way out. But between me and that door, something moved. A tall, thin shadow walked slowly down the hallway. It didn't have my face. It didn't have any face. It dragged its hand across the wall, nails scratching deep grooves as it whispered, "Don't leave me again." My flashlight flickered to nothing. The only light came from the faint moon through the distorted front door. I started walking, slowly. Each step felt like walking through water. The air was thicker here, like breathing through plastic. The figure tilted its faceless head at me. It stopped walking, but the sound of footsteps kept going. Behind me, I turned and saw them. All of them. Dozens of versions of me filling the hallway. Some smiled. Some twitched. Some screamed silently. I pressed myself against the wall. The faceless figure opened its mouth wide, tearing its skin downward, and the voices of every reflection poured out of it at once. "It's me. He's inside. Stay." The hallway walls began to close in, pulsing. The air turned black. The house wanted me. I bolted for the door, hands grabbed at my arms, cold, wet, identical to mine. Whispers licked my ears. "Don't go. You're one of us now." I slammed my body forward, breaking free of the grasp. My fingers clawed at the lock on the door, rusted, stuck. The whispers grew louder, faster, until they weren't whispers anymore. They were screams. The door cracked open. A wind, unlike anything I'd ever felt, slammed into the hallway, howling like 1,000 voices crying out at once. The faceless thing lunged. I threw myself through the door. Outside, but not outside. The night was wrong. The street was empty. The stars were gone. Every house around me was my house. Row after row of the same house, same flickering porch light, same shadow in every upstairs window. And behind me, my front door opened on its own. Something stepped out. The faceless thing, followed by me. 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 All of them. The wind carried their whispers across the empty street. It's inside. You can't leave. It's me. I stumbled down the path toward the road, but the farther I ran, the more the street looped back. Every corner turned into another front yard, another house, another me staring from the windows. I fell to my knees. The knife dropped, lost somewhere in the dark grass. The faceless figure. I stood in the dark hallway. The door slammed behind me, and the sound didn't echo. It sank, like the house swallowed it. The air was wet, breathing. Every wall seemed to inhale slowly, like the house had lungs. Whispering in the dark, "He's inside." I should have turned and run, but the door behind me was gone. It had melted into the wall. The house pulsed around me like a heartbeat. I could feel it in my chest. My flashlight flickered back to life on its own, but the light didn't act like light anymore. It dripped. Thin trails of brightness slid down the wall like water. The house was alive. I heard footsteps on the second floor. Slow, deliberate, exactly like mine. One step, two, creak, creak, creak. I whispered, "Who's there?" The house answered, not with a voice, but with a laugh. My own laugh, coming from upstairs. I climbed the staircase, every step sinking slightly, like stepping into damp soil. The air grew colder. The portraits on the wall, the ones I'd never seen before, turned their heads as I passed. Their faces looked like mine. Halfway up, the whisper came again. Close, too close. Whispering in my ear, "It's me." I froze, my breath fogged the air. Someone was standing behind me. I could feel them, warm breath on my neck. But when I turned, nothing. Just the house, breathing.